I'm not kidding. Anybody tries anything and I broke their fucking brains out. Bobby waved his gun around, careful to keep his finger off the trigger. He was obviously bluffing. He had no problem hunting animals, but that wasn't this. He waved the gun around as his mind raced. What was next? Alright. He passed his backpack around. Everybody put your phones in here. Can't have the people calling the eggplants. He walked around, collecting the phones. The phone collection went easily, thank God. Bob didn't think he was a bad man. He didn't want to threaten anyone. The idea sickened him. And you? He pointed over at a nurse. Close the blinds. The nurse did so, as Bob circled around the room, doing things. You and you. Bob gestured to a pair of doctors. Bring me the administrator, and make sure she doesn't hit an alarm or anything. Do hospitals have silent alarms? The doctors looked at each other. Just do what he says, Meg begged. It's getting worse. That did it. The docs ran off towards the elevator. He watched as they vanished behind the door. This guy is fucking crazy, Dr. Wolford moaned as he got into the elevator. And we all know Admiral Stamantios isn't going to give in to this creep. Rhea Stamantios had made it clear from the second she arrived that she was the daughter of some prominent noble family or some shit, and expected to be treated as such. Cue lots of forced smiles and middle fingers behind the back. It was also a known fact that she was only here to lord it over primitives. Dr. Carreras nodded. Yep, I totally get why he's doing it though. My worry is Stamanitos isn't going to budge and this is going to get so much worse. They came to the office and collectively took a deep breath before opening the door. What? Stamanitos asked as the two men walked in. Is this about that mess downstairs? Yes, Dr. Wolford started. You've got to... What? Give in to the male's unreasonable demands? A bandit from the forest has no right to come into my hospital and demand medical treatment. That's literally the point of our hospital, and if we don't do anything, it's going to get... Dr. Carreras knew it was no use. I already am doing something about it. Now go away. It's not my business what you primitives do to each other. And with that, Stamanitos got on her omnipad, as Wolford and Carreras left, dejected. Any luck? Bob asked as the doctors returned. He could tell from their faces that the answer was no. But he had another problem. The police had shown up. Bob wasn't going to bother finding whoever had called. It was beyond help. No, and I think Stamanitos called the pubs. Dr. Wolford looked terrified. Oh my flaming buttfuck. Bob was cut off mid-poetry. His phone was ringing. With a sigh to rival the gods of size itself, he picked up. Hello? Yes, hi. I'm Officer Aubrey with the Maryland State Troopers. I assume you're the one taking the hostages? That's got to be tough on everyone, you included. You're telling me, man. I just wanted to get my wife tested for pre-eclampsia. Now this. They're telling me we could lose the baby if it's not treated. Yep, got it. And for some reason they aren't allowing this. Bob could see the entire fucking police department out there. Apparently it's an act of treason to provide medical care to somebody who doesn't have an ID. Fucking Chilvanti. Bob went back around the room when a doctor tapped him on the shoulder. What? He snapped. Can't you see this is a stressful situation? If you don't mind, these people are here for a reason. Would you allow them to receive treatment? Now, Bob wasn't a bad man, and he knew it. Furthermore, Trooper Aubrey was encouraging him to say yes too. Bob nodded. But bring them back here when they're done, okay? Bob wasn't listening. Something seemed to be happening on the phone, and that worried him. Aubrey? Aubrey? Relax, Trooper. Captain Rishi reassured Aubrey as she and a few of her soldiers pulled up. I want the same thing as you. Let me see the phone. She put her hand out. The cop sighed and placed the phone in her hand. Who is this? The voice on the radio demanded. Are you Chilvanti? You're the ones the hospital admin called? What? That cunt! No. Would you believe me if I said no? I want this to end without any bloodshed. And if that means giving you what you want, that is not a problem. Believe it or not, most of us are reasonable people. Be right back. And Rishi Kosmanos was nothing if not reasonable, she figured, as she put the phone down. Such primitive technology, but so useful. Spanuzari! The girl looked up. Ma'am? Set up a thermal. I want to see this guy's every move. Foros, get that fly drone launched. Spanoi, you and Rios get up on the roof across the street. If this guy puts anyone, human or Chilvanti, in danger, take the shot. Everybody gave their assent and went to do their tasks. Rishi got back on the phone. You says Demantius calls someone too? That means we're on limited time. What say we try to get this wrapped up? And lose the baby? Rishi sighed. Look, if Interior or her militia shows up, you're going to lose a lot more than that. You'd rather deal with me. Bobby, I know you aren't a bad man. By the sea of souls... If I were in your position, I can't say I wouldn't be doing the same... Excuse me. Rishi put down the phone again. Saracen? Prepare a basic medical test for symptoms of... What was it? All these human diseases. Pre-eclampsia. I have an idea. She picked up the phone again. Bob, I have an offer for you. Oh yeah? Rishi could see Bobby Tiernan pacing inside. Oh yeah. I have my medic out here getting ready to test your wife, ID or not. You just have to let the hostages go free while I send my medic in. There was a pause on the phone, then a long sigh. Half now, Bob said. The other half after the fact. Rishi figured that was the best she was going to get. You have a mobile command unit and a hovercraft pulled up. Oh shit. Rishi recognized the militia woman. But what was the Interior doing here? An agent in the usual Interior uniform was walking towards her. Captain Kosmanos! Shit. I'm sorry? Rishi lied through her teeth. What are you doing here? You brought me here, Kosmanos. You and your administration's inability to deal with the growing insurgency. Insurgency? You call a group of bandits in the woods an insurgency? Disorganized, harmless, and currently holding a hospital with 150 people, including the daughter of a noblewoman and 12 other Shilvanti hostage. It was obvious she only cared about Stamantios. And, well, given the delicacy of your situation here and your inability to deal with things, General Vrish has elected to put us in charge here. You can't just... We're on the verge of ending this thing without any bloodshed. The agent ignored her. You and you head into the hospital. Bring out Stamantios. Kill anyone who gets in the way. She's #1 priority. What? No! Rishi had half a mind to pull out her gun and blow apart this agent where she stood. Captain Kosmanos, if you do not fuck off, I will have you all brought before a tribunal. The agent and her militia animals pulled out their weapons. Rishi was tempted to open fire and save everyone's lives once again. The human police had the same idea. They all pulled their weapons and pointed them at the militia. I can't let you do that, Aubrey said. Put down your weapons and walk away. Now. Not a problem. The agent blew Aubrey to pieces, and that was it. The other cops all opened fire. There was nothing Rishi could do. She just ordered her troops back and recorded the battle on Forrest's fly drone. By this point, the cops were falling back into the lobby. Rishi followed the battle on the screen and thermal. Some of the remaining cops had taken cover behind the front desk, and shots zipped over their heads. Some were locked in brawls with the militia and Interior agents. Rishi was actually impressed. 2 cops had pulled down one of the militia bitches. One jumped on her shoulders while the other kicked out her knees. Another cop was choking one of the militia women with a shotgun before an Interior agent tore him off and threw him through a window. Rishi watched in horror as the police were cut down one by one, and quite a few patients and doctors too. She switched over to the thermal again, just to see the agent shoot somebody. Rishi didn't know who she wanted to win. Then she realized the phone was still running. Rishi Kosmanos heard Bobby Tiernan screaming, not in fear or terror, but in rage. You killed her! You killed my wife! My baby, you motherfuckers! He yelled. Rishi heard gunshots, then the crackle of Shilvanti weapons firing. In the thermal, she saw Bob flare briefly, before falling to the floor, more of his insides on his outside. His gun glowed brightly in the thermal. Call command, Rishi heard through the fly drone. Tell them the threat's neutralized. Fucking Interior. And Rishi knew that somehow she was going to take the fall for it. 3 days later, Stamantios was back in charge. Doctors Walford, Carreras and Cohen marched up to her office. They didn't even wait for her to let them in before just about kicking in the door. They were a little surprised at first, but soon realized her guards were patrolling the lobby. The guards she had left, they slipped a tab of acid. Security Officer Styrin was currently stuffed in the 3rd floor locker, rambling about the Empress's holy Turox, whatever that was. What do you want? Regis Stamantios sniffed, as if talking to primitives was beneath her. That was too far, Cohen snapped. And we just know it's going to happen again, Carreras added. Again and again and again. Anybody who sees fit to deny someone medical treatment and have them killed for... Walford was cut off. Oh, are we talking about that little hissy fit the bandit had? Stamantios poured herself a drink. Stop that! Cohen swept the glass off the counter. She got real nasty close to Stamantios' face. All this, Cohen's voice grew dangerously quiet, holier than thou, lording it over the conquered primitives bullshit. Stamantios sighed. What do you want? When her sister had been given a Rakiri village, the hairy beast had rolled over for her. Why did primitives of all things have to be so difficult? We want the final say in all things medical, Walford demanded, and we treat all who come in, no matter what. So, Stamantios looked amused. Treason. Carreras walked behind Stamantios. I thought you'd say that. We came prepared. That was the cue. Walford and Cohen held Stamantios down as Carreras slipped a loop of medical tubing over her neck and pulled tight. Keeping Rayish Stamantios down was tough. She was huge, like all Shilvanti. But eventually, her movements slowed and weakened. Soon enough, the eggplant was dead. So what now? Carreras asked. Oi, Cohen sighed. Let's see. We know they're just going to put another perp in charge. We need to hide the body. We could chop this one up. Carreras, call a nurse and have some plastic, a bone saw, rubber gloves, masks, and medical waste tub. Carreras went and did that. Now, if we don't want another Stamantios, we're going to have to stop them putting one in charge. Maybe get rid of... You're talking revolt? Open revolt? Walford just about pissed himself. Armed revolt, Cohen said, before shutting up as the nurse arrived. Once the nurse was gone, the three doctors suited up. Cohen started sawing. Fuck, we're not fighters, Walford groaned, as he held out a leg for Cohen to carve up. Yes, but we have a whole sesh of fighters to choose from. Cohen tossed a forearm in the tub. God, that stinks. Worse than human insides. You were saying? Carreras looked out for Shilvanti coming their way. We could recruit those forest bandits. The three doctors knew there was no coming back from this. They just started a revolution.